Hello. Welcome. How are you all? So we are at the end of the Kickstart Your Art Challenge, but it's not over yet because we've still got a few more days for those who are catching up. And if you are feeling behind or that you didn't even make a start, we are running a boot camp on Wednesday, and we will set a timer, bring your sketchbook, bring your materials, and we will go through rapid fire through the Kickstart Your Art to help you catch up or help you just get through it, because you'll get so much from just doing it in an hour. So yay, welcome. And Make Your Mark has launched. So yeah, very, very excited about that. So we have welcomed, Vanessa's joined, Caroline, Sharon's joined us, Anne, Fiona, Maureen, Preeti, Ian, Carol, Sandra. Welcome. So you will have got your welcome emails, and this evening Hannah will start to accept people into the Make Your Mark group. Good morning, Joyce, Francesca, Michelle, Samantha. Hello. So today what we wanted to talk about was the challenge and wrap it up really, and recap and just really reflect on what you've got out of it if you have taken part. I'd love to know, and Sharon taught me this tip about whenever you take part in something, what's the one thing that you've got from it? You should always take one thing out of everything you do. You taught me that, and it's
did I?
Yeah, you did. And I use that all the time now. So let us know what your one thing is. Even if you didn't do the whole thing, still take one thing from that experience. And we will have a look at how different people approach the challenge. And it's been amazing. I mean, Simone, I just saw very briefly today, Simone did the challenge yesterday, which was do something that you don't like, which I know a lot of people was like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But Simone did a piece that she didn't like yesterday, and then she put it on her social media and sold it.
Really? That's amazing. Virtual high five for that one. That's fantastic.
I know. Isn't that crazy? So yes, but it's been a wonderful experience, because it does pushes, especially yesterday, which was do something that you don't like. And I remember Sharon saying that to me, and that came from a good friend of ours, Magdalena, who gave that tip to Sharon.
Magdalena, my guru.
Fed it to me, yes. And I painted with green because I've always avoided green, which now seems so bizarre to me because I love nature. And now green sneaks into everything that I do, and it's so strange, so strange.
It's kind of the things that we don't really notice sometimes, that it's around us all the time, but we don't notice it. And we just have this preconceived idea of, oh, that's not fitting well with me. I don't like that. And we kind of avoid it. And not sure really why we avoid it. So even though, that green, it could be a complementary colour to something else that you really love, like that colour that you're really drawn to, but you need the green to give it that lift, that extra bit. It's really exciting, isn't it? Mine was pink. Mine, I always have I'm a feminist, or I like to think that I am. And feminism to me is, obviously, it's about equal opportunity. So it's everybody equal. So bringing up the female, male, so we're an equal platform. And pink was always a big part of my life that I avoided because of that blue for girls, pink for, blue for
it is that way around in your house,
pink, in the UK. But then when you dig a bit deeper into that, it's only my preconceived idea of the pink that I was brought up with, and my response to it. And in a lot of cultures and in a lot of history, or her story, pink is a strong colour, and it was used as a vibrant thing for boys a lot of the time, not just for girls. So it's only very recent. So that was my discovery over the select and reject kind of journey. And a lot of other things as well. It's always about challenging our own journey, no matter how big or small, in that it has an effect on our choices. And if we're curious about those choices, which is why the select reject pick things out, choose this or that, is really important for us to understand what we do like and why we don't or not drawn to those particular things in that particular point in our life, which can change. Magdalena, this is hers as well. Everything changes. Everything changes all the time, and we don't have to be, I'm only going to be, focused on this one thing. I can bring in lots of different things, but maybe have that thing that links it all together, which is 10-day challenge. That was a day 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, so day 10 is today, so let's talk about that a little bit. So what you've been doing, or might not have been doing every day, but starting to be aware. The whole point of this was to set up some habits so that you start noticing. And whether you didn't do that every day or you did, I mean, I didn't keep up every single day, but I've already started to notice how more aware I've become. I've started to pick up a magazine that came through the post the other day, and I was really aware of the...
I stole it.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore because Sharon took it off.
I stole it. It's cool. This is really good.
But I was really aware of the text on the back, on the message. And I was telling Sharon the story that this magazine comes through for somebody else. It's not even for me. And I take it out the bag. It's like Groundhog Day. I take it out the bag and I put it in the recycling. I've been doing it for the last 5 years. And for the first time ever this week, I took notice of it and I was taking it out of the wrapper. And there was this really interesting statistic on the back, or it was like a quote about women when we landed on the moon, basically 1969. Yeah, how technology was so advanced that we actually made it onto the moon. Man made it onto the moon, apparently. But women still could not get a mortgage if they were a single parent, and I think that's why it caught my eye, because I'm a single parent, and they couldn't get a mortgage themselves or buy a house themselves unless they had a male guarantor. And anyway, it just caught my eye, and I would just lots of things. And this is why the Kickstart is so good, because no matter if you're happy with what you produce this week, it's the very fact that you're starting to take notice and you're starting to notice things around you, which is what developing your voice is. That's what being an artist is, isn't it?
So it's a reminder as well. That story about you finding this magazine, and you've had it for years and years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
And only when we remind ourselves that this is what we do as artists, we do this all the time anyway, no matter what journey you're on, where you're at in your journey. It's the Kickstarter for me was a real reminder of to stop, to look, to listen, to select, to reject, to just have a refocus on where you're at right now. So no matter whether you make make your mark or not, this is a really great point and a process that we use all the time. So maybe it's about that timeline, that cycle, and that time frame, that journey, or that point in our lives where we start noticing something that is specific to this time in our personal lives right now, which maybe wasn't appropriate or wasn't something that would be quite poignant in your life 5 years ago. Michelle, it's really interesting, it's really exciting.
Then the purpose to the last day is to create an art board, and we've said art board loosely because that can be images it can be images on a wall. It can be, well, this is Sharon's version of her artboard here.
Mine is on my window.
So this is all of, her statements. So what we'd love you to do now is start to look back at everything you've been gathering and pull out the main things. And this takes practice. You might feel that everything is relevant right now. But as you start doing this more and more, you will start to select and reject this idea of parking some things for now. Like we were saying on the live the other day, that if you put everything into the pot in one go, it gets really muddy. It's like if you put all your colours in, it's a muddy mess. And it's a little bit the same, isn't it? With your ideas. The more you kind of refine it down and be selective about what you put into your artwork, that's where you start to fine-tune your voice, and you start to get depth in what you're doing and understanding, and you'll notice relationships between things, and
it's finding clarity, isn't it? It's really picking out, feeling really clear in what it is that really speaking to you right now. What is speaking to you, and has it got any relevance to the other things that you've been looking at as well? So we can do this again and again and again in this design cycle that we're in as artists, which is a very broad term for creativity, creating things or being creative. And it's picking out that real kind of thing. What is it really that is speaking to you? And it can be very simple, something that's really simple, like a colour or a mark or where you're at. So if you're noticing that all of your work is small, maybe the reason why it's small is because you're sitting down. So your approach to it, literally, it could be just that. And if there's absolutely nothing wrong with your work being small, but if you really acknowledge that it's small because of my approach, my body is sitting down and I'm working on a small in a small sketchbook, for instance. If you notice that that is the reason why your work is small, then it can open up lots of different things, like what happens if you stand up and work big. Will your work have the same impact or a different impact? It allows you to really question your why. Why are you doing something? How is it that you're using those materials, those choices that you've used, and how is it bring together? I'm going off on a tangent. My head's getting all full of like really amazing ideas. I didn't want to get to work. Sorry about that.
I'll nip into the comments and see. Michelle says, like, challenge yourself to do what you're not drawn towards. Good morning, Cinder. Hello. Literally just woken up. It's Washington where you are. Different time zone. Yeah, boiling here in Cape Town. Oh, we've got the sun here. Jill says, I've loved Kickstart. I'm not ready for Make Your Mark just yet, but I've learned that I need to sketchbook more. Looking forward to putting this into practice when we're travelling on a narrowboat this spring. That sounds nice.
Oh, well done, Jill. Thanks ever so much for taking part.
Yeah. Trisha here says, it's helped me fill a lot of gaps, thinking about light, dark, light and heavy, quiet, loud. It's filled the gaps. It's made me my art seem more exciting. Yeah, this is what Make Your Mark is all about. I'm hoping to join the class. Yay. Oh, a little bit concerned that I might fall behind in Michelle's class, if that makes sense. Okay, so you're doing the 7 keys. I feel it's going to take me forward so much in my artwork. I don't feel I'm going to hit quite so many walls. Yeah. So what I would say, Trisha, is Make Your Mark definitely complements the 7 keys. They do work hand in hand really nicely. And in terms of time, I think with Make Your Mark, there's the live part, the 7-week part, which is where you get access to Sharon and the
I go through it with you. Lots of lives.
And I think that there's not
lots. I'm not saying that.
No, it's an hour a week where Sharon's live, but it's all recorded, which goes into the membership. And then you probably need an hour a week to actually do the work, to get that playtime in. So I would recommend, and I don't know what you think, but 2 hours a week, if you can carve out 2 hours, but you have access for 12 months. So I think it's an individual choice, I think. It is, yeah.
So some people might find that the work, they do it in half an hour, or they might do it in 2 hours, or they might need a week to do one section, depending on how you work. So if you're a fast worker and you just want to absorb something, you just want something really quick, really instant, how do I do this? And what am I doing wrong? Or what am I doing right? Or how can I, there's no right or wrong in this design cycle, this process, the Make Your Mark process. If you're really fast worker and you just want to take out bits, or you just want to access me, just for some advice or some feedback, or some general knowledge of particular things, such as fine art, painting, using acrylics, watercolor, oil painting, drawing, using lots of different mixed media, any kind of techniques, any selection and rejection processes. And if you're a little bit stuck with your skill set, I can help you. So there's those kind of things. It's not, I'm not going to show you how to paint oils with portraits, for instance. It's not that kind of course. There's lots of YouTube videos for that.
Yeah, this course teaches you the skills to like learn how to do something and then turn it on its head and do it the opposite way to what you're taught.
If you want to.
Yeah. But pushing you though out of your comfort zone to do that, to do things in your own way, which is so lovely. Catherine says here, I'm adverse to yellow, had to paint a gorse bush for a competition entry last year.
Oh, there's so many different types of yellows though. Oh, let's get started on those colours. Oh,
you're so welcome. And sorry, I don't write very well. Neither do I. You've probably noticed.
It's funny. The other day I've got to share this. The other day Trisha, Michelle and I were both sat down, and Michelle types like this, like her hands are so fast, like this. It's like almost like one of those GIFs. And I'm in my head is like really full of spinning, and my words are like this. It doesn't matter as long as it gets the information out, doesn't it? It's
I know, but people have to translate what I write. It's really funny. They go, okay, so she's written this, but it's all back to front, all the letters are back to front, and the words are mixed up. I know.
It's there. It's there. It's good. Really.
Trisha discovered the colour pink not going to go. I discovered colour pink not going to go at black and white simplicity, but now I seem to have injected so much colouring to work. Awesome. Painting up a storm at the moment, and now listening to you guys. Happy Sunday to you. Lovely to see you here, Mark. Rosie, the one thing I have learned amongst many that stands out is being gently encouraged to do and try different things, bringing different and often surprising, exciting outcomes. Wonderful. Have found Kickstart so helpful and inspiring. Thank you so much. Thinking about doing Make Your Mark. Oh, you'd love it. Do I need to hurry? Are there limited spaces? It closes for enrollment on the 4th of March.
Which is next
Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Because it starts on Friday. Yeah. And no, there aren't limited spaces, because if we limited them, we'd have to put the price up quite significantly. And what we do instead is we have lots of support, and we've got lots of people that have done Make Your Mark, and we've got Team United Art Space, so many lovely people that have been out in our community for a long time who are ready to support you along the journey. And we just find the more people that take part, the more energy, the more examples, the more everyone helps each other. It's such a lovely experience when we attract really lovely people into our communities, and everyone here watching now will vouch for that we have really nice people inside our group. Adopt a supportive environment and not judgmental, because this process is about not someone coming and going, oh, you really should have done this, or you should have done that, because no, you shouldn't have. You should be free to do what you like at this stage. It's after Make Your Mark that then you decide, well, like Chris, I use Chris as an example all the time because it's one of the biggest transformations I've seen in someone.
Oh, Chris and her lovely cat.
Yeah, but when she joined, she did a lot of work that was kind of felt, I use this word naive because it's a word to describe flat and, free, childlike. It's our inner child. And that word is a word to describe. I don't like it very much, but it's what is used to describe that playful. And she did a lot of work like that. And it wasn't our place to say, you should be doing it realistic, or you should be doing that, because it's about Chris finding and playing. And in the end, she said, yeah, I want to do it realistically, but it was her decision.
Yeah.
Not because anybody said you should do it that way. And that's what is important with Make Your Mark and Kickstart. It's about you choosing to do something a certain way because you want to do it, because it sparks your curiosity, because it feels exciting, because that's why you want to do it. So
the clue's in the title, isn't it? It's making your mark. It's not mine.
Lovely. No,
it's not my mark that you'll be making. It's everyone is so individual, and they bring so much of themselves into their art, and it's where you are in your art. How are you in your art? It's really so important, I think. I remember, can I tell a story? Can I tell a story?
Yes,
I won't take too long about it. I'll try not to. I think everybody's got their favourite teacher. So at school, we have a favourite teacher, and there's quite a few teachers that we didn't like or didn't get on with or didn't get us. And then we had advice from those school teachers that we took, thinking that they knew more than we did. And then when later on in our adult lives, when we actually find our voices or start thinking, actually, I've got a voice of my own, I'd like to talk about, my own experiences and my own, point of views, with a lot more knowledge and a lot more confidence, perhaps. But we need another teacher or someone, or a mentor or someone that we really trust to just eke out what it is that you want to say. So I'm not going to be a favourite teacher. I'm not going to be one of those teachers that are going to say you should do it like this or that. What I hope to do is facilitate you and your journey, so that just to guide you along. So it's a guideline of how you can find your own truths and your own art in your journey, which is absolutely unique. It's not something that I can say, do this or that. I could say, have you tried looking at this? Or I could point you to artists, perhaps, that are doing a similar kind of work to you, and how they maybe investigate how they approach that journey. So it's quite hard, isn't it, to get out of that, oh, my teacher, I wish I should have done this, because of the bad advice that we've been given. I've been given so much bad advice when I was at school. I had a terrible education, which is why I went into teaching, because I wanted to make a difference and I wanted to share. I didn't want it to be like a real secret. Yeah. This art world is not a secret. It's not for the elite. It's for people who really feel like they want to say something within an art materials or media, or as a doing. So as we're, as a drawer, or, as a thing that you do, or as an experience. It should be open, I think. And I really feel like I want to share all of that in the Make Your Mark, or through the Make Your Mark course. Yeah.
Just Susie's written underneath, it's because we're scared to fail. Yeah. And the great thing is Make Your Mark is about those happy accidents and expression.
And overcoming that fear of failure.
Yeah.
What actually is it to fail? And whose rules are they?
Yeah, Jenny. Yeah, whose rules are they? Bash the rules away. I learned to challenge myself. Previously, I've always stayed in the same style, subject to material. Now I'm going to play and experiment more until I find my voice. Thank you so much. Yay. Pink was a colour I avoid, but I always loved, so I get it. The painting I'm painting now has lots of different shades of pink. Feels fun.
Isn't it funny how pink is the only colour that actually has its own word or own title? So if we mix the red and the white together, we get pink. But if we mix the green and the yellow together, or green and a white together, we get light green.
Yeah.
It's quite cool, isn't it?
It's quite important. I've never really thought about that
investigate
before.
A little bit further.
Yeah.
It's quite exciting.
It is, yeah. This challenge has pushed me to try new techniques and styles. It's also helped me not to worry too much about getting it right all the time. That's wonderful. That's why we wrote it. It's so good. Gina said it's been a brilliant week. I'll come back to that one. I've seen, Rosie, you've asked a question. I'll come back and answer that, because I'm not sure of the answer yet.
Oh, I like that one. Mandy.
This challenge has helped me let go and stop trying to get all the detail I can see in an image, but develop my own interpretation and have fun with it. Yes.
Oh, that's so freeing, isn't it? When I look at something, and it happens all the time, my mind just gets full and full and full and full and full. Got an ADHD brain, it gets full really quick. So what I do is I try and simplify it down. So simplify it down with looking at shapes, or turn upside down, or just pick out, or the select and reject, which is the process, which is Make Your Mark and the Kickstart challenge. It's about just taking certain elements out of it. So I'm so pleased that you've actually forgot about the detail you can always put in the detail afterwards if you want to. But playing and freeing and dancing and having fun is so much more important sometimes. We forget to play.
Lindsay said, really enjoyed the challenges, trying out a different colour palette and incorporating shapes from my 3D work into 2D.
Ooh,
nice.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I like that as well, that, you know, I choose to focus on 3D in my own work, but I've taught in 2D and 3D in lots of different specialist areas in the creative kind of visual world.
Yeah.
So it's taken. So I use the 2D a lot to inform my 3D pieces, which is, it's just as important. I think it's the processes in here. How do we get all of this into a 3-dimensional form?
Yeah, Diana's feeling like she's getting creative again.
Yay.
Amazing. Lots of ideas.
That's fantastic.
I love it.
David, it's small because I'm a miser. And I don't like wasting materials. Yes, that's it. Well, at least you know why.
Oh, Catherine took Make Your Mark. Highly recommend Make Your Mark. Yeah, I remember. We'll never forget working with you because it was so incredible, your journey, and to see everything that's happened since.
Catherine's making some beautiful drawings and paintings at the moment. I've seen. They're exquisite. Really exquisite.
Oh, Marie says, that's helped me get back on track. That's really great.
Loads of lovely comments. I'm so pleased that it's helped. Really am. It just shows that it works, doesn't it?
I know. Maribel says, I'm a little bit behind. If you feel like you're behind, we're doing a boot camp on Wednesday and we're going to sit with you, get your sketchbooks, get your art materials, and we're going to go through, right, day 1, let's just do a mind map really quickly. And we're going to put the egg timer on.
10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So 10 Kickstart challenges in 10 minutes each section. So we're going to do each day in 10 minutes.
Yeah. David's reached day 6. That's great.
Awesome. You've done better than me. I think I did up till 5 actually, and then I got overtaken by actual work.
Yeah. Joe says, I'm a professional artist. You got me back on track. That's amazing. Any chance you could give us prompts? Well, yeah, this leads into Make Your Mark. So if you want to carry on, this process leads into Make Your Mark, where you get prompts and weekly activities to take this even further. So Kickstart is just kind of the very, very beginning, and Make Your Mark goes in much more depth and with lots more.
It's really
play and experiment, and but be more mindful about it. And
it's, Joe, just in a nutshell, the design, we talk about design cycle, and I know that if you're a professional artist, you'll know about this process. So it's about working on a new, if you want to work on a new collection of work or a new body of work, it's a process that I use all the time. And whether it's a 6-week project or a 2-week one or a 1-day one or a 2-year one. So sometimes I have an exhibition that's 2 years away. So I need a longer sort of process. So the process is about really digging deep into that. But it's the same kind of design cycle. And
it will definitely keep you going.
It goes through research. So where to research, what to research, why you're researching it. And then we go through lots of different investigations to do with the formal elements, such as the weight, tone, shape, form, structure, composition, all of those. And then we select and reject, and then we form some sort of conclusion, whatever it is that you've chosen to do, to then pull back into the beginning again. So then there is a.
And if you're sitting here thinking, I have no idea what the formal elements are, don't worry, because Make Your Mark teaches you as if you know nothing. And there's a whole lesson on what the formal elements are. So it's great at teaching you about how to read art, like how to be really mindful about what it is you're doing. So if you're just one of these people that just makes art and you've never considered it, you've never been taught, Make Your Mark is fantastic for teaching you and helping you understand what it is you're actually doing. So absolutely. Just wanted to say that because I know some people were thinking, because the formal elements, it sounds really formal and scary, but it isn't. And they are amazing. I love being aware of the formal elements, because what you'll find when you do Make Your Mark as well is you'll start to notice other people's artwork in a completely different way. You'll start to understand why you're drawn to another person's artwork and what it is and what's happening in that artwork. You'll be able to describe what you see, which I know there was a conversation last week in my group, like some people go, oh yeah, it's got lovely tones, and someone said, I go, oh, it's got lovely squiggly wiggly lines. And I said, that's okay, isn't it? It's like whatever your own vocabulary is, it's fine. But make your art will help you just understand what you're seeing, and give you more understanding of the type of words to use to describe art. So it's not elitist, and it's not
absolutely not.
It's not
elitist,
stuffy. No. It's really real.
It's that it's a conversation, so that the formal elements are there to give a visual, so an image, just in layman's terms, an image like a painting, and it helps you to understand the conversation that's going on in that painting. So if there's a painting of a woodland, for instance, and it's used lots of dark colours and it looks quite moody and mysterious, but then there's loads of bright colours on the leaves, well, we can read into that painting by looking at the formal elements, which is tone, texture, colour, shade. There's weight, mass, and those are all to give us a really good, rich, in-depth conversation in a visual way rather than written. So it's not writing poetry, it's actually making those connections. And how we read it as well, we read from left to right or right to left, depending on which country we're in. And we can, I don't know about you, Michelle, but when I was at school, I was taught to read what is in the painting. So what actually is it? So we look at the subject matter, so if there's a tree in the painting, we'd look at the tree because we were taught to look at the tree. But actually what happens if we look at the shapes, that rather than the subject matter? Maybe what do we look, how do we feel when we look at just the shapes that are in the painting? How do the shapes make us feel rather than the actual subject matter, which is what abstract art is all about? And that's great. There's so much language in our visual world that we read in an instant, but we don't know why we feel that way. And the Make Your Mark is about understanding the language that is used to make art feel that way. And you can go into a gallery, or you can look at an image on a screen, or however you look at art with those fundamentals, that knowledge of the visual language, the formal elements, kind of like learning a new language. So it'd be like me learning Spanish. I'm like, oh, it always sounds like a little bit weird, but I kind of get the feel of it. I don't know why those words are there. It's really great. It's really great. It's a really great journey.
It is, but then you can do it in your own way as well.
Level, yeah.
So we were talking about this, about how, when we're finding our own voice and exploring the arts, all arts have their own language. Like dance, dance is made up of form
and expression
and formal elements and certain postures and moves, and music is made up of its own language, and
how you draw, how you're drawn that. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but how you're drawn. As a dancer, you would draw, the audience into your eye and the connection of your arm, for instance. And how you would hold that arm, and and it's learning things like that how you can make your work more powerful. So, like when you go to dance school, you learn how to dance and invite people in, and with music you learn how to use differences in your song, so you build up tempo and then you have a crescendo, and this is like what Make Your Mark teaches in the art. It's how to make your work more powerful by using the formal elements, because we're drawn to differences, contrast. You can make that small change to your artwork on composition, and it changes and it triggers something in the brain that stimulates us. And
Someone was asking, sorry, we were waffling, can we see a piece of Chris? Yes, I've just got it up on the screen. So there's a link at the top in the comments above which tells you more about the Make Your Mark course, and in there I've given a example of Chris's transformation, and let me just grab it up on the screen now, but it's here. So that is the difference. and
they're both
Chris,
they're both really valid. They're both really valid. But they're awesome artworks.
They are, but they're so different.
They are.
So one is just, and this is a great example of what we've just been talking about how art as a language, how you can paint something so differently. But these are now, they have completely different voices.
Yeah.
And a different feel, don't they? And it's understanding that, and it's like, why? And that's what Sharon teaches you. But Chris came in, this was before Make Your Mark, really happy with the work that she was making. But by using Make Your Mark, got really clear on the formal elements and the direction she wanted to take it in. And so continued with that, and then transformed her work to this.
That's the most important thing, isn't it? It's finding Chris found her voice.
Yeah.
She found her voice, and she understood what it is that she wanted to make.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah. And then she went off to have commissions, and but this is just one example of many. Yeah. Hey Abigail, nice to see you here. Kickstart's been great. It was was hard to find a colour I thought of not liking, but went for green. It's been called a sick colour. Yeah, I think that's why I didn't like green. And then I realised I've been painting nature. I had the exact same realisation.
You just said that.
Yeah. Oh, you'd love to
do Make
Your Mark.
When I did the same thing with my guru Magdalena Grozek, she said choose a colour that you don't like, or work with a colour that you don't like in another life that I did with her, and green was the colour that I went for as well. And I realised that actually I use a lot of green, but I use it as an accent colour to lift up.
I'm sitting here looking at a lot of green.
There's a lot of green in my work, but I really like it. I don't like green on its own, but I like it as an accent to pink.
And then, of course, there's different shades of green that are yucky, aren't there? Well, in my opinion.
And and I don't like brown, but I make brown pots sometimes. Brown work. It's. Yeah.
I went to my paint palette and used the colours that are the most unused, thinking I didn't like them. Wrong. I love it. I was thinking, how have I missed this? It's eye-opening. This is what it's all about. It's like we often
Gestalt moment.
Yeah. This is why I love the challenge, because some days people will have an aha moment, and it's so different for all of us, because you could take this challenge again in 6 months' time. You'll have a completely different aha, different observations, because we talk about this thing of find your voice, but you never find it. You'll find it today, and it will change next week, because we're evolving as humans. We're not fixed. We are always seeing new things. We have another experience that makes us feel something that revolts us or makes us really happy. So we're not fixed. So this whole voice thing is, I think, you learn how to find it and how to tune into it, but that's not the end. It's a continuous evolution, isn't it?
It's how we get our. I've got another story. Can I tell another story? Okay, I was doing this design cycle last year. So every year I kind of give myself my own Kickstart version, as many times as I need it or want it or feel like I'm getting stuck. And I'm thinking, what do I need to do? So then I start with let's do some research. So I did some research, and I came across the bat bird. So B-A, bird, as in flying bird, from the Egyptian times. And the bat bird, the bar bird, however you want to say it, I don't know how to pronounce it in the English language, really, was the bit that struck me. Was that this bird was placed, so it's a statue of a bird, but it's got hands for feet, and it's got wings, but it's got it's got a face, your own face, and it's placed on a coffin. So when you die, your personality can go into the statue and then fly around and go and hang out with your mates. I thought, God, that would be brilliant. So I made my own. I'm never going to sell it or do anything with it. It was just for fun. It was just playtime, and it then got me kick-started into another body of work, taking elements of those. So even though this is where we're getting that everything changes, the Blackbird is still here. It's not going to go anywhere because it's really ridiculous. It doesn't look anything like any of my own work at all. It's really bizarre and weird, and it's got fingers for feet. It's really weird. But there's some element of that personality, the story, or the connection that I felt with. So my work is about connecting with people and their experiences, and there's been, we've had a lot of high and low experiences lately, especially during our COVID times, globally, and maybe that was the thing. So from that initial research about the Egyptians and the Blackbird and the birth, life, death cycle, there was a part of that I took out of it. So it's not, I didn't know that it was going to happen until I actually investigated that and allowed myself some playtime and some free time to research something different. It was really funny. You have to see it at some point. It's hilarious. It's weird. Really weird, but it's the personality.
Lots of people asking what time bootcamp is on Wednesday. It's 3 p.m. UK time, so the same time as this session, but on Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, it needs to be 2 of me. Oh, crikey, yes. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome, Dawn. Oh, Simone. I know you had a great experience with the do something that you don't like. Maribel's asking if the course will be available further down the year. No, because Sharon's got a diary full of exhibitions throughout the rest of the year, so this is the only time she can run it.
I would love it
next year. Yeah.
To help. That's what I did. I used to be a teacher. I used to be a lecturer of art in college, and that's what I used to do. But then when my daughter was born 6 years ago now, I decided to take up art full time. So this is like my little special. I'm going to dip my toe in and let's do some sharing. I love that.
Oh yeah, Rosie says I'm a dancer and a visual artist, and the two inform each other all the time. It's fascinating. Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
I love that, Rosie. Chantal says I didn't get past day 4 because I was jump started with the first 3 days. Imagine if I did 10.
Yeah, imagine. Why not?
There's a great question here, and it's just jumped every now and again. It jumps. So Jones, will the course benefit a basic beginner? I feel I'm not ready, but I enjoy it. Oh, absolutely, because it teaches you, Joan, the steps of like Kickstart is when we've done Make Your Mark in the past, one of the biggest bits of feedback we had was the beginning bit takes everyone the longest, the looking, the paying attention, the gathering, and people were saying how they wanted more time to do that. So we thought if we do that through Kickstart, then you've done the prep work, you've started looking, and then Make Your Mark delves in now into all the steps of using this artboard to really go deeper now and find your voice and experiment. And Sharon's going to give you lots and lots of amazing activities to do, and she shows you step by step how to do them, and your art will start to develop and you'll learn the process as well. So I think as a beginner it's great because, as more advanced artists, sometimes we're stuck in our ways. We get those perceptions that we are this artist, we're that artist, and it's hard to undo that. So as a beginner, it's such a lovely experience because you haven't got any of those habits that may be getting in your way. So I think you'll learn a lot from Make Your Mark as a beginner. But equally, we have people who are established artists because it is about, like Sharon, it's the design cycle. So it takes you, at the end of Make Your Mark, you'll end up with a real clear idea of a collection of work, of how to really create a powerful finished piece of artwork. It will take you through the steps of how to really use, the formal elements to make a really strong piece of art. So,
Joan, I think if
I think
it's really great. It's absolutely true what Michelle said. It is this course is for everybody. It doesn't matter where you're on your art journey, as long as you're on it. And in the course, I won't be showing you how to make an oil painting, for instance. I won't be going through all of those things. But if that is in your like plan, so if you identify that I would like to learn about watercolor, that can be your thing throughout the Make Your Mark journey. So you can take that watercolor and you can use it in your sketchbook and play with it with all of these ideas using that one material. So can we talk about materials just for a minute? My thing is clay. I really like clay, and to get the clay to do what it wants, I'll show you. To get this clay to do what I want it to do, I need to know how to use it, so what to put on it and how it works. And I'm only going to do that if I stick with the one thing for a while. So if you wanted to learn how to draw a cat, for instance, if you're an absolute beginner, just think, I just want to draw my cat. Cats are great to draw, like we can see with Chris's example, because they're so characterful. So the Make Your Mark course will give you lots of different ways to capture that character from that cat. For instance, you could use mixed media, we can use paint, we can explore lots of different lines, different depths of tone, we can use some contrast, we can use different colours, we can really mix it up with some pattern, some texture. So it's kind of giving yourself a bit of everything to do with that one cat, for instance, just an example. I hope that makes sense.
We'll do a separate session next week on Make Your Mark, I think, where we'll go through it in depth about what it is, how it's delivered, because it does contain some amazing tasks for you to really start to push yourself as an artist. So we'll go through that next week. We'll do a Q&A session.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Is there a reason why someone should not do Make Your Mark? I have absolutely loved the Kickstarter and I'm so inspired to start working. I've never been asked that before. I guess is there a reason why you shouldn't do it?
Oh, I've never been asked that before either.
No.
I think the Make Your Mark course is used by all artists. And this is just the Make Your Mark course I've designed is to pinpoint down how artists make art in whatever specialist area. So I don't know whether... I don't know. Why would you not do it? I guess you wouldn't. There's no reason why you shouldn't do it. I think everybody should take it up.
Yeah,
actually.
Because even, I was going to say, if you haven't got time, but, you know, I just think if you want to do something, you can find time. Because I have got 2 small children. I've set United Art Space up. I do 3 other courses. And I manage that because I bring to the surface what's important to me. And that's how I've got here today, setting up United Art Space. By carving out an hour a week. That's how it all began for me. 1 hour a week to work on my dream and work on all the stuff that we teach. So yeah,
if you don't want to do it, then you don't have to. No one's going to force you. It's not like going to college, you know, or you're not going to get told off if you don't hand your work in on time. It's a good question. It's got me thinking as well. Why would you not make it? I think everybody should Make Your Mark course.
Peggy's joined. I saw you on the list, Peggy. I'd like to think that once we find our voice, we have it and know that we have it. But the music language we use to express ourselves evolves. That's a great way. Yes,
so good.
Changes and develops over time. You're right. And because there's always, when we find our voice, we notice that I've noticed over years there's certain things that have stayed in me for 15 years of making art, and I think they'll stay with me forever. And you're the same, aren't you? Where you've got things that is just in me, and it will always be an interest to me. And so that's
really great analogy.
Mona says, why does this have to end? I've loved it. Oh, it doesn't end. So this goes into Make Your Mark. So this is the Kickstart is the prep for Make Your Mark. It's just the beginning. Yeah, this is just the beginning. Can't be recorded. Yes, it will. That's a good explanation. What's the cost? So it's all on the page at the top, and you get access to the live part with Sharon. You get a bonus as well this time, which is a diary that Sharon's keeping to show you how she's using it with her own artwork right now. And also, as a bonus for anyone joining, you will get access to the UAS Makers. You'll get 3 months when the course ends, which is a new membership that I've created, where we do art challenges every month together. And we've literally just launched that. So anyone who signs up to Make Your Mark will get access 3 months at the end to continue that journey with our group of members. So that's this time only. And what was so sorry, the price. I just went off on a tangent again, and it's £290. And you get access for 12 months as well to the Make Your Mark material. You can download all the tasks as well, so you get to keep those. Is there a timetable for Make Your Mark? Yeah, well, there is in terms of the live part of it. So each week, every Friday, for the next 7 weeks, a new lesson is released into the membership, and you'll get an email. And it's teaching you the process that Sharon uses. And that part is delivered every week. And yes, it is like Kickstart. Yes. Yeah. And it's flexible. So very flexible. So people on here will tell you that you can do it in your own time. There's no need to keep up, because what Sharon is teaching you is the process. So many of the artists that have taken this course, it's something that you'll use forever in your art making. It's not like learning how to do something and then you forget it. It will be embedded in you. Like whenever you make art, you'll go through this process. I use it all the time when I'm doing my own art. And building up ideas and experimenting. It reduces all the overwhelm. I just love it. Of course, I'm biased.
It's not a linear course, is it? It's a circular. So I can never say that. I can't even circular. That's how I say it, but there might be a different
It's
a circle. Yeah, it's a circle course. So it teaches you how you work. So first of all, mindset. How do you work, and when is it time for you to work? So it's, even though there's one live each week, and you get the downloads, all the course material on the Friday, which Michelle knows a lot more about, because she's the organizer and she's just really much better at this kind of thing than I do. She's really great. Basically, it's when do you work? So at the moment, my free time, because I've got children at home, it's mostly at nights. So when everyone's in bed, that's when my brain goes, right, now I'm going to get everything done. And I do it. But that doesn't suit everybody. So the course is designed for you to take it at your own pace. Initially, when we set it up, it was we noticed that there was a lot of adult learners at college that couldn't access, because of physicalities of it. They couldn't access it. It was the wrong time for them. They had dependents, they had work commitments, they had other commitments outside. And that's one of the big reasons why I thought this is really great, because it is here for you in your own time, for however it works for you. So if you want to do the whole lot in one day, do the whole lot in one day. If you want to do it little bits during the mornings when your mind is fresh, or at night time, or when you've got 10 minutes in between.
Yeah.
Work.
Also, though, it will keep you accountable to making, because Catherine, who's watching, she said that this happened to her. She was really struggling to just get a mojo, and because you're in the group and everyone's going through it, it really motivates you to get your sketchbook out and have a go. So there's some questions coming in. I want to wrap up, because I want to get through these, because we've got to hang up. So Joan's saying, what products do you need to get? So literally, there is a kit list that we have inside the course, but it's anything. It's all about playing with different types of materials. So sellotape, masking tape, pens, biros, paints,
sketchbook.
Just anything you can get your hands on. And you really can do this course with just a biro and some tea bags on. Yeah. So Melanie's saying, I have an idea in my head for the last 20 years. I'd love to make a collection, and this sounds like the perfect course to get things going. Yes, this is perfect for if you've got an idea, and this is what Sharon will share with you as well about how she takes her idea and translates that into her own art. Great for projects, great for just getting started. So yeah, it is.
You got that voice trying to get out at the moment.
Make your mark would be great. Yeah. So we just go through. Janine says, I was in the mindset, I don't have time, but now I'm rethinking.
The mindset, it's all about the mindset. And the Make Your Mark course is very, very similar. It's not very similar. Michelle and I work in a very similar way. So the things that Michelle does, I take on board, and the things that I do, Michelle takes on board, because we're in this sharing process together, and they complement each other.
Yeah.
Really
We've been working on this for 5 years. We've been working on the 7 keys and Make Your Mark for 5 years now together, because Sharon helped me write the 7 keys. She's my muse, and I helped Sharon write Make Your Mark. It was like Make Your Mark is Sharon's course, but because I'm a control freak.
Yeah, I send all the stuff.
Influence.
Michelle, give me some. You're the. What did I call you? Oh,
but
the accountability.
But the other way as well, like with the 7 keys, Sharon sat with me as I'm talking it through, going, I've got this idea, and we post-it noted it together, and these 2 things together have been our babies for a long time. But
it's our baby.
So Maureen's saying, oh my gosh, Maureen's joined, yay!
Hi.
I can't wait. You ladies rock. I love
it. Especially my rocking hair. My bike riding rocking hair at the moment. Sorry, Sunday afternoon rocking hair.
Let me just see if there's any more questions before we go. Someone asked, and I can't find the question now, but there it is. If you haven't completed Kickstart, will you be able to catch up in the course, or will you be behind? You won't be behind, because the course is written as if you haven't done Kickstart. So it assumes that you haven't done it. But Kickstart is a great way of just opening your eyes, is to get you to start noticing. But the first week when you join now, you'll get the intro, which is like a Kickstart, but a watered down versions. It's about getting you to do that mind map right that day one. But you don't need to have taken Kickstart. No,
you don't. You don't need to take it. Not at all. But it really helps if you did. You don't have to.
No, and of course it's put into the Make Your Mark area as well afterwards. So if you want to revisit it, but we're doing the boot camp on Wednesday. Sally's saying here, good point. I just don't have the mental capacity, but next time, that's absolutely fine. And we don't want to push anyone who feels completely overwhelmed with life, or
heaven forbid, we wouldn't want that. There was one more story.
Okay, because
when I used to work as a teacher at a college, we used to have something like 200 students, and they'd all come in on induction day, and most of them would be like, what am I doing? I don't know where I'm at, or anything. We'd have to sort them out into little groups to each specialist area. And some of them would leave because it wasn't for them. It's not up to us to make you do this. It's up to you to choose to do it or not. We're not gonna force or or make you do anything that you wouldn't want to do. That would be terrible.
Where's the Make Your Mark info? It's at the top in the comments above. If you press the link above, you'll see all the information about the course. And Thomasina, I'm going with 3 options. Stuck on mindset. Might be better to focus on the 7 keys. Would love your feedback. Am I better doing the UAS makers? Might be enough. So the difference between, I would say, is Sharon's is it's a process that she teaches, which is about how she takes an idea and transforms that into an outcome, and how you strengthen your voice, and how you take that idea into a collection or into a finished piece. And with the makers, we're going to be focusing on art challenges and fun and making and drop-in sessions. So that's the difference between the two. So if you want to chat, Thomasina, happy to chat about whether it's the right decision or not. Just drop us an email, and happy to go through it, because I want to make sure it's right for you. So if you just email us, then we can just talk about those 3 options and whether it's right for you. Because someone did message me this week and I was really honest and I said, look, I don't think it's right, because they said that they're doing a college course, they're doing another course. And when she listed all the things, I said, you need to focus. There's no point doing 10 courses unless you have time. So if you can look at your calendar and think, yeah, I can do this course on a Monday, this course on a Tuesday, this course on a Wednesday. If you've got time, go for it. But if not, focus. But yeah, with this process, it was, for me personally, like Sharon said, it's different for everybody, but it was an hour a week. But anyway, that person that I said no to was just joined.
I do think that actually some of the courses that are at universities and colleges at the moment, this does really top up that.
It does.
It
yeah,
really does.
Yeah.
Really
well, because Sharon taught me.
Yeah.
She was my lecturer and tutor at art school. So and this took when we wrote Make Your Mark all those years ago. We sat down. We went like, what are the best bits from art school that we, that Sharon taught and what I'd learned. It was like getting rid of all the fluff and just like, what is the main stuff that you need to know? So do I still have time for the Kickstart challenges? I teach in school and I've been so busy. So they all come down on Thursday. We're doing a boot camp on Wednesday.
Oh, well-earned time, yes.
So the live sessions are on a Monday. So a course is released on a Friday, and then Sharon goes live on a Monday at 1 p.m. UK time. But you don't have to be there live. You can watch the replay. It's uploaded. So,
and if you've got any questions, you can email them the night before or the week before, and then I'll answer them in that live.
Yeah. And Sharon, you'll be able to chat with Sharon in the group. You don't have
7 weeks. I'm going to be very flexible and hope to facilitate everybody's needs.
So Sharon, you're going to be in the group on Mondays, aren't you? So if you can't attend the live, you'll still be able to chat with Sharon inside the group. So don't feel pressured to be there for the live.
No.
So I think I've covered all the questions. If I haven't, I will come back. Yeah, I don't think there's any others, but if I've missed any questions, I will come back and have a look. And if you're watching the replay, do let us know. And yes, so it closes for enrollment on Thursday. So you have until Thursday to decide, and we will do a Q&A session next week. Maybe on Tuesday, we'll do a Q&A session and answer any questions that you've got, because I know it's a big decision, but there's a 14-day refund policy as well. If you decide to join and you think, oh, this is just not for me, we'll give you your money back. So you've got nothing to lose and lots of support. I know you'll absolutely love it, but yes. Okay, so we're going to head now, and thank you so much for joining. So boot camp on Wednesday, I'll email you all about that. We'll do a Q&A session on Tuesday if anyone's thinking. Fun. I can't wait for Wednesday. I'm really excited. It's like power.
Test your skills, go.
I'm looking forward to just like doing that as well. Like, I feel like I need an hour just to create. Yes,
for you. It's for us as well. It's great.
So day 10, everybody start gathering all your images, all reflecting back now. Create a nice board. We want to see all your boards, whether that's on a wall, scattered on the table, on an actual board, whatever, digital. Start pulling things together that express who you are. This is me over the last 10 days. This is what I saw. This is how I felt. This is what I created. Great. And own it as well. Be proud of it. Okay. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.